welcome back to Dear Society, and I'm joining here with Norma again.
Hi!
So basically, we're gonna still be talking about sexual harassment, but we're gonna do slightly a different topic, and it's more kind of like serious, and it's about like the consequences of sexual harassment. So would you like to start and like read what you found about the side effects or like the consequences of being sexually harassed?
Okay, of course. So from what I've heard, that sexual harassment, so like the effects of sexual harassment are like the victims of sexual harassment can suffer significant psychological effects, including anxiety, depression, headaches, sleep disorders, weight loss, or like weight loss or gain, nausea, lowered self-esteem, and sexual dysfunction.
Yeah, so I've actually read some, and like there's this one article that says that is proven by like psychologists that like it could really have a severe impact on the victims, and it, like both physically and mentally. And like the most common diagnosis for victims of sexual harassment, according to like this licensed clinical psychologist, is like post-traumatic stress disorder, like PTSD.
Yeah.
So like when they are like chosen to like relive a moment that they are like uncomfortable with, you know, like people obviously like do not ever want to relive the moment where they get sexually harassed, and obviously they will get PTSD after, and anxiety and depression, just like you said, and the body gets like overwhelmed by it. Like after that happens, it may happen so quickly, and like you just feel like numb after, you know, like I just can't imagine how it feels like to be one of the victims of sexual harassment, because it really has a big impact on the person. It could change like a person's personality totally, you know, like they could be like one of the most happiest people on earth, and then after that they get sexually harassed and stuff, and then they're like sad, and they're like depressed, and they get anxiety easily after that, you know.
It changes people's lives.
It does.
Sexual harassment.
Yeah, because like we've talked about this last time about how like what would you do if you were them, and this genuinely like connects so much, because like being sexually harassed is already bad by itself, but like just imagine the consequences after that, like the consequences that the abuser get and the victims get. I think it's like really sad. Yeah, because like the abuser, like I don't know, like since I said that, like the abuser does not get blamed, and that's why I'm like we're making this topic, because like people don't put the blame on the abusers, and like they don't get like big consequences.
They always blame it on a victim, like what we said last time, and like it actually hurts because like it's not the victim's fault, and like the fact that the victim, it made them feel more like stress, and it's like literally all over their minds.
It's like not the abusers, like it's not the abuser who's getting all these anxiety, all this like depression and everything. Like the abuser is just fine, or like the assaulter is just fine after what they did to the victims, you know. And like I feel like the assaulters like don't like realize how much it actually hurts someone. Like what were you thinking when you did that, you know? Like we talked about this, and like they don't get big consequences at all. Like they like laws wise, I said in last time that like they don't have really big, like they don't have laws unless it's like rape or anything. Like they don't, like in here they don't take it too seriously, but like it really could affect someone's life. It really could affect someone's personality, you know.
And no one is really paying attention how like it's supposed to be the abuser's fault and not the victims. And like I don't know, it's really sad about that, and like the fact that sexual harassment in Indonesia is pretty big, and no one's actually like paying attention to it.
And like there's so many people that like since it's like really like sexual harassment is a really big topic, and is like and happens really like frequently, which is really sad, and that means a lot of people are affected by it, but like no one's focusing on it, because like the only ones that count is like rape, but like I said, there's more to that.
like such as like catcalling and stuff, and like other small things.
Yeah, like catcalling, like just a form of catcalling can make someone scared to go out of their houses.
Yeah.
Like that's like
I think it's traumatizing.
Yeah,
Like I mean, like I feel like it's kind of common here in Indonesia, which is pretty unfortunate. But like because of catcalling, sometimes I feel like kaya more uncomfortable based on my personal experience.
Because like when you like go out, you know, and then you get catcalled once, and then you're just scared to like go out again with this kind of shirt and stuff like that, and you just rethink everything, you know, like you wouldn't want to like basically go to a place where it's like the most simple, the most normal place ever, but then like relive something or like remember something that is so traumatic and sad for you. Like that's just actually really sad.
This made us like overthink about like what we should wear, like what you said. Like I don't think it's because of the clothes, like what we said the last episode, but I don't think we should like reconsider on what to wear, because like you should do you should wear what you want to wear, because
guys, wear what you want to wear, because it's not your fault. It's literally the assaulter's fault, and I'm so sorry if any one of y'all have ever experienced anything like that.
I'm really sorry,
because it's really sad. Like just a form of like just anything, like just the smallest things can make can cause trauma to that person, because like
such
even
touching.
Touching too. Like it just make you scared of like everyone. Like you're gonna have like trust issues, and you're gonna like rethink like, is this person gonna do this? You know. Like it's really and
you
sad.
start thinking about that to everyone, literally everyone.
Everyone, because like you get trust issues after that, you know. Like even if they're their closest friends, but since you've experienced that before and it's really traumatizing, like I mean, like you could like just literally get trust issues from like the simplest things ever. Apalagi ini, gitu. Like it's really a really big problem, and like people like sepelein, like people don't care, like couldn't care less, and it's really sad.
Ya makanya lama-lama orang jadi kayak lebih kayak stress gitu, terus it causes anxiety and depression gitu, just because of kayak it starts from like catcalling and gitu-gitu, and lama-lama jadi kepikiran mulu gitu. And like this makes the assaulter, like since there's no consequences for it, this makes the assaulter like santai aja gitu, like they go on by their day when the victim is like miserable and sad every single day, and
just
the fact that
about
people are like unaware of it, and like how people are always like blaming the victim, like no, you shouldn't wear that gitu, like that's your fault.
And there's so many like things, like there's so many things that can lead to trauma, like coping like there's so many like bad coping mechanisms that are like they're gonna have to go to like therapy and stuff like that, and they're gonna have to do like maybe self-harm themselves because of that, because like it's not just like you get PTSD, you know, like it could actually affect like you, like who you are, you as a person,
and it makes them like hate yourself.
Like it really isn't the victim's fault, and like it really, like you can't, since like this country doesn't make sexual harassment a big deal, like you feel like you can't do anything about it, you know. That's why it's like so sad that people just have to like just stay like just like traumatized and the assaulter and thinking nothing of it, you know. Like you wouldn't want that to happen to you. You wouldn't want to go out and think about like, would anyone catcall me and stuff like that, you know. Like it's really sad, and especially it happens to a lot of young girls like our age, and
and even like probably younger sekarang.
There's so many, and they're always like, what are you wearing? But they can be literally wearing the most basic, the most covered
like literally
clothes.
Cuman kayak t-shirt atau pants gitu bisa aja,
and like it's literally normal, and like there's so many, like it usually happens between like old people to like the younger people, like, and I don't really know why they would do that, because like imagine if like gini, like it's already sad to like imagine being sexually harassed, but like being like their age and experiencing something so early, or like just experience it in general, itu kayak sedih banget.
Makanya, and juga banyak yang kayak udah kayak udah nggak pakai revealing clothes such as like udah pakai kerudung and stuff gitu kan disuruh masih aja bisa tahu kayak di sexually harassed gitu. I heard like a lot of cases about it.
Yeah, there's one that is like got sex. Like there's so many cases that like I really want to like know about, but like I don't know if I can share it. But like there's a lot of cases that like people don't take seriously. Like if it's just like, that's how sad it is that like catcalling and like touching in general doesn't get shown in the news because it's not a big deal in their eyes, you know.
And there are like thousands of cases about that, and it's like not shown.
Yeah, and it really could happen like at any given moment of your life and any given moment of like you just going on like walking home from school or like hanging out with your friends at the mall or like just like going out to like Indomaret or something and like someone weird will just, you know, will say something like that and then that could really affect you, you know. Like it's really sad like that they have to experience such miserableness and sadness while their assaulters are like living their life.
Yeah, and they don't even care about the victim's feelings.
Yeah.
And they don't care like, oh, I bet dia kayak enggak, like they don't care about it gitu. But like actually they're actually really hurt inside and like, it really affects the victim.
Yeah, it could be like why didn't you react then like at that time, because like you can't do anything about like you really are just so overwhelmed at the current moment that you can't just like, you know, you don't have the time to think about what you're gonna do.
There are some people yang kayak refleksnya tuh kayak cuman diem aja terus kayak kaget gitu, makanya kayak you don't know what to do at the exact moment gitu. Ada juga yang mungkin kayak langsung fight or whatever, tapi like some of the people ada yang nggak bisa and it made them kayak overthink.
Because it's really overwhelming. Like I can never imagine like being sexually assaulted. Like it's actually really overwhelming at the exact moment. Like why didn't you say anything or why didn't you fight back? Like there's so much going on and you don't know what to feel. You just feel like numb. Like you don't like you feel completely numb. Like you don't feel any like emotions because like it just happens so fast and then like the aftermath is absolutely like bad, you know?
Langsung the next days itu langsung kayak selalu playing di kepalanya kan, kayak,
like they think about it constantly, you know. And like especially like after them feeling so miserable and then like orang-orang tuh believe the assaulters, like, or like whatever, like misalnya there's like a rumor or something about it and then the assaulter just say some stuff that are not true, that like say like no, that didn't happen, blah blah blah, and then everyone will believe the assaulter. Like how would you like you can't do anything about it when everyone believes and you don't have any proof because like no one takes videos of that, you know, like why would they, you know.
Makanya orang should think the other person's kayak feelings, kayak what would they think and what would they feel kayak abis sexually harassed, and you can't just believe the assaulter gitu.
It's always, you have to believe the victim first, like always believe the victim first, no matter what, no matter it's not confirmed, you have to always believe the victim first. Because like I know there's a lot of people on the internet that likes to lie about stuff, you know, that likes to lie about being sexually assaulted, but still you have to actually believe the victim first, especially if you saw how much it impacted their lives and impacted them as a person.
Makanya, I'm sorry to say this, but like you shouldn't really believe the assaulters first, because like usually the assaulter would lie about it because they don't want to get in trouble, and instead they blame it on the victim and they would give the whole problem to the victim gitu, and they want them to struggle more.
And like the assaulters like don't admit it, but there's so many people too that just admit it like nothing happened. Like how do you do that? Like you know, how do you like just admit it? Like do you not realize how much it hurt that person? Right? Like just like, you know, like being like, maybe they think that like, well, since there's no like no serious consequences that can be performed to me, then I'll just like admit it, you know. But like it really isn't that case. Like I don't care if there's no consequences. You shouldn't do that. Like period. You shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that. Like why did you do that in the first place? Like that's really
just like imagine like being in the victim's place. Like I really just don't understand like what's going through the assaulter's mind when doing that. And it's like actually really, really sad that it could happen in like your closest friend groups or like just like everywhere. It could happen like on the street, it could happen like in your friend group and stuff. Like you actually never know when that's gonna happen. That's why like they don't react because like you're not expecting it. Like you're not gonna have it in your mind like you know.
Makanya kalau kayak temen deket gitu, makanya kayak mungkin orang itu udah rasanya udah nyaman banget, so they would like, oh it's fine if I touch her, it's fine if I like misalnya rangkul or like hug gitu, but like bisa aja orangnya itu masih uncomfortable and jadi kesannya kayak sexual harassment gitu.
Yeah, and oh my god, speaking of touching, it's like when people like experience like being sexually harassed and stuff, and like if has a form of touching, and then when people want to touch them, like they just relive that moment again, like PTSD. They just like think about when they got assaulted, and that's like really, really sad. Like I'm sure they don't want to feel this way or like don't want to come off as like rude for like not wanting to be touched, but it really, really is like sad because like they genuinely do not want to think about that moment because they already think about that moment every day of their lives.
The fact they didn't do anything and langsung di-touch gitu, kayak what were you thinking, you know? Kayak bisa aja kayak langsung kepikiran kayak what you said gitu. Dia jadi kayak nge-change appearance-nya kayak, oh I shouldn't wear this gitu. Oh maybe I shouldn't go out gitu. Soalnya nanti dangerous, nanti aku di-touch lagi and stuff. Nanti makanya jadi it causes like psychological effects to the victim.
Yeah, there's so many things like I think we both wanted to interview like a
victim,
like,
the case,
or like someone who like majors in like psychology and knows this kind of stuff, because like they obviously deal with a lot of like trauma and stuff, and like there's so many other like reasons for trauma, but like this is also like such a major part of like being like, you know, like depressed or like having anxiety around a lot of people, you know, because like you really never know when that's gonna happen. Like that anxiety of like after being sexually harassed, like when you're around a lot of people, like it's just sad to think about, like you know, like even if it's like your closest friends, you're just gonna have such trust issues, and it's really, really sad that like anyone would ever do that to a person.
And it can like sekarang udah banyak juga yang kayak lebih kayak anak kecil, such as like umur kayak udah 6 tahun tuh udah sering banget kayak udah dapet, even yang kayak udah older gitu, makanya which is sad, padahal mereka belum kayak puberty and stuff.
They haven't even like grown anything, like they're kids, like they're kids who experience it, and like the fact that like if we're talking about trauma, it's mostly like to like people who understand like trauma, but like kids, they don't understand anything, like they wouldn't have known, and like they're like innocent, like,
and they don't know how to speak up
and like what would like they can't do anything, like this in this case they actually cannot do anything. And it's the fact that people have to like parents have to like train like their kids like at a really, really young age, just because so many things that happen, especially nowadays, is really, really sad, you know.
Like, have you ever heard about like a baby getting like raped and
oh
stuff?
my
like,
god,
makanya, which is so sad.
Like
padahal mereka baru lahir gitu, terus mereka nggak tahu anything, mungkin kayak umurnya 1 or gimana gitu, pakai bajunya normal aja udah.
They're kids, like they don't understand anything, like, they can barely talk or anything, you know.
Makanya what is wrong with people gitu, like I know banyaknya sih men yang ini, but I don't want to blame men only, like banyak
because like men can also experience sexual harassment, and like it's really not like, it really doesn't matter what the gender is, and like what's really sad, like let's talk about like men being sexually harassed, is that when that happens, like people say like you have to man up, like you're a man, you can't cry. That's so sad.
That's
like
so sad. Imagine kayak so they don't understand what they feel gitu.
Like because like they got sexually harassed, you know, they're obviously sad about it, they obviously like grieve about it every day, but then as a man, people say like, well, you're a man, you should like stand up to yourself, or like you should like man up, or you shouldn't cry because you're a man and you're taught to not to you're like, people teach them to not cry, you know, but it really isn't that case, you know. That's like such toxic masculinity, but like we're not gonna get into that. Like that's a whole different thing.
Just because like the majority kayak di Indonesia tuh women kan yang experience doesn't mean you couldn't like care about the men.
Yeah, and then it doesn't mean that it's not like any gender. It's a big problem. Like, it really is a big problem.
It's a huge problem.
And like, you know, like I really don't get it when like, especially like people who are like, well, it already happened like a long time ago. Like, why are you still even thinking about it? Like how do you say that? That's actually so rude to say, because like trauma doesn't like have any like age or like time span or anything. It could really just happen
like every day sampai tua
every
gitu.
day. You could just think about it every single day. And like to think about like, well, I know like they survived it, but like still, of course you could think about it like the thought of being,
traumatizing, you know? Like imagine kayak abis like what I said, di touch atau enggak, even kayak di catcall gitu bisa kepikiran tiap hari sampai you grow gitu, sampai kayak oh yeah, I remember something happened to me at that age gitu-gitu.
And like what if like they share about it and they're comfortable with like sharing it, and like that. Misalnya ditanyain kayak orang that got catcalled or like the one that got touched in public, kayak lo kenapa nggak pernah keluar rumah ever sih? Abis itu nanti kayak the person or like the other person that you're talking to are like, oh, then when did that happen to you? And like misalnya they're like grown, like not they're grown now, but then that happened when they were a teenager. And nanti mereka kayak, ya itu kan lu udah ini, nggak mungkin like. Gak mungkin.
Iya, gak mungkin. Itu kan happen, I know it happened dulu gitu, but like masih kepikiran lah.
And that's what's sad. That's what's so sad about it, that it could actually affect you for so long. For so long, and it could act like forever. Bisa aja forever.
Kayak bisa dapet therapies and stuff gara-gara stress atau gitu-gitu.
Yeah, there's so many people who had to go to like therapy because they're stressed about it. They can't stop thinking about it, you know. And that might not like heal them completely too. That's just how like sad like everything is.
And mereka jadi nggak trust anyone, like trust issues jadi punyanya.
And like they just like, you know, like after like opening up to someone and then they're saying all these stuff about like, well, udah kayak that already happened like ini ago or something, or like as a man like you should just man up. Like it just makes you feel worse than you already
jadi kayak why
feel.
So you don't understand what I feel gitu, for like this whole time aku udah ceritain semuanya gitu about what I feel, and you malah kayak ngeblame aku, bukan kayak bukan the assaulter-nya. Kan aneh.
Like even if they blame the assaulter, but they're still not like taking the victim seriously and not like actually like taking accountability on like what they like think or like what they feel, even if it happened like ages ago. Like it's really, really sad. And like we've already talked about like a lot about in real life, but we could also talk about the one in social media. Do you have anything you want to say about like sexual harassment in social media?
In social media kan banyak yang kelihatan, kayak misalnya if you post like something and then langsung commentsnya kayak oh
my god,
I
forgot like there was like, you know, like when you post something, that's like the same thing as like catcalling. If when you post something and something you feel confident in, of course if you post something you feel like, oh, I look good and stuff like that, and then people comment like, even if it's trying to be like, no, you know what's so sad, it's like people say like that's a compliment. It isn't.
No,
really
it's not.
It's a really, really bad
kayak,
form of
yang
sexual
kayak
harassment.
mommy daddy gitu itu aja udah sekecil itu aja kayak what is this person?
And then it just after like, you know, people just like commenting all of that, and then you're just like, what, you know, you're just like and then you just never want to post anymore. Or like people like DM sending like weird pictures, and then
banyak tahu yang kayak misalnya assaulternya tuh udah tua gitu, tapi yang the victim tuh udah banget, and like misalnya they don't know each other gitu, makanya udah banyak banget.
Because like social media is like really big. You could really connect with anyone here, and then people would just like say so many things on social media, because like you just use a fake account and no one would know
and
your identity.
Warning that like you can't comment this or gitu, nggak ada warning.
Because like, and it can also be a fake account, because like, and like, so then the sexual assaulter is like, they don't know who that person is, and they just like just a random stranger saying that, and then like you're just thinking like, did I post something wrong, or like did I like what did I do to like even be saying like even have someone to say something like this to me.
Makanya orang yang ngepost itu jadi kayak aduh aku kenapa post ini gitu, kayak I think this is too revealing, atau kayak oh why did I post this, I look ugly or something.
Yeah, it really it's like kind of the same as catcalling. It's the same case as catcalling, and it's like also like just like being like DM'd by like random people and being sent like really weird pictures when you really don't want to. Like I know you could like block, but like why would you ever do that? Why would you ever?
Why did you do that in the first place without knowing kaya what they would feel?
And it could also be like kids nowadays have social media, like they're and like that could happen to any one of them, and it's like really sad. Like I don't really care that the kids have social media, but it's really sad that like there's so many people that aren't allowed to have it and aren't allowed to like express themselves as much because of the people there. You know?
Which is why kayak banyak orang yang kayak nggak ngebolehin kayak anak kecil nggak boleh punya social media gitu. But like bukan salahnya mereka. I mean like mungkin mereka belum kayak educated,
they don't understand.
They don't understand. Tapi kan banyak orang di situ yang bahaya gitu, and itu faultnya mereka. I probably one more thing if that's okay.
Okay, you can go.
Ada juga kayak kalau di social media ada juga yang orang yang kayak trying to protect the person, the victim, kayak oh kamu kenapa post ini gitu kan, ini terlalu ini, nanti banyak orang yang ini loh. Yeah, I know you're trying to warn them, but like that's not how you're supposed to tell them.
And like people like being like sexually, like not actually like you know like verbally as like you know, but like still like just by words is also really sad, because like it could like just like trauma, you know, like people like doing it as especially like in a young age. You want to live your life, you want to post things, you know, like you want to make some memories, and then people will say like some like really weird stuff and like thinking it's compliments, and like that's not a compliment. That really isn't a compliment.
Yeah, that's
like,
not a compliment.
It's not a compliment. It could really affect someone's life, and it's actually really
offensive.
sad. Yeah, it's really sad. And please don't ever do that, because like you need to know like what we just talked about trauma. You really need to know like what would happen to the victim if you ever did that. I know, please, if you're watching this, I know you would never do that, but still, don't ever do that. Do you have anything you want to say?
Like before you do anything weird, kayak those kind of weird stuff, kayak especially in social media, you gotta think about it, about like what they would feel, and like I said, itu effectsnya ada banyak, makanya, and it really affects them.
Yeah, you could really have so much trauma, kayak banyak banget yang bisa kayak affect them as a person, and you really don't want to take anyone's happiness out of anyone, because you would never wish that upon anyone. Even if like you experience something traumatic, it doesn't mean it's okay for you to do it to anyone else. Okay, so this is my second episode of Dear Society, and it's still about sexual harassment, and maybe there's things that I want to talk about, and the Instagram. Oh, I haven't shared it in last episode. So it's, what is it?
So it's called Dear Society. You can search it up in Instagram at Dear Society, double R with the dot.
Yeah. So you can check it out, and you can make it like a summary about what we're talking about in the first episode and this episode. And thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.